But we are going to talk about how they build these really tall buildings in a very windy city. This building has one of the great techniques that architects use. Up in the top of this building, there are 160,000 gallons of water. You can't see it inside the building, but this building is built to sway on purpose. That alleviates a lot of the wind pressure on the building to let the building sway. When it does that, it wants to bring the building back to center quickly. So watch
ukagendera mu bwato bw'abantu babiri batatu bane gutyo ariko urabona ko ari bunini bufite abantu benshi kabisa mu bwato bwiza cyane bunini
It's not until the late 50s when we have a reboot in architecture. Take a look at this building right here. It looks a lot different from what we've seen before. Two words probably come to mind: black box. And that's the name of this style of architecture. This is black box modern.
turabasuhuje nk'uko bisanzwe tubifuriza ibihe byiza ku bantu mwese mumeze neza ariko n'abantu batameze neza mwese turabasuhuje kandi tubifurije kumererwa neza dore ko uyu munsi bameze nabi ariko ejo bikaba bimeze neza nibyo natwe tubifuriza rero aba bantu mubona imbere yacu rero ni bamwe mu bagize umuryango Urumuri umuryango wo muri Chicago aba mubone rero bakaba bake mu bari bahagarariye abandi batabashije kuboneka kubera impamvu zitandukanye namwe muzi z'ubuzima rero bakaba baje bahagarariye abandi baje kudutembereza muri uyu mujyi mwiza cyane umujyi nyaburanga umujyi ufite inyubako nziza umujyi navuga ko ufite ibintu byinshi wa reba cyangwa se wakwishimira kureba kugira ku bantu bakunda gutembera n'abatabikunda nabo umuntu yabashishikariza gutembera kuko ni byiza ko umuntu areba ibyo atazi dore ko ngo akatagurutse katamenya iyo bweze rero reka mbereke urugendo rwose uko rwakabaye abasore n'inkumi bagize uyu muryango w'Urumuri bakora byinshi bitandukanye rero harimo no gutembera akaba ari byo bagiye kutwereka uyu munsi rero bakaba bagiye gutembera ariko bakoresheje ubwato mu mugezi cyangwa se muri Chicago River uri hagati y'umujyi rwagati bakaza kugenda batwereka byinshi cyane bitandukanye mwebwe nimujye kure urugendo rwose murarukurikirana uko rwakabaye nka The Wose TV natwe nibyo twiyemeje kuba agezaho byinshi bitandukanye ibyo mukunda kandi turabizi ko mubikunda natwe muradukunda ndetse natwe turabakunda akaba ari nayo mpamvu tugenda tubakorera byinshi byiza bibashimisha ese bibanabaruhura mu mutwe rero tugiye kugenda tubereka uyu mujyi dore inyubako nziza cyane murebe byinshi muza kugenda mureba ndetse nibyo tugenda tubereka mwari muzi ese nibyo mutari muzi dushishikarize rero umuntu wari we wese waba atarakora subscribe ko yayikora kugira ngo tujye tujyana mu rugendo rwacu rwa buri munsi ni inkunga ikomeye cyane ndetse n'umuntu waba atarakanda kuri iki gikumwe yagikoraho ubundi akatwereka ko turi kumwe kuzajya dukomeza tujyana mu rugendo rwacu rwa buri munsi tugita tumenya ko turi kumwe namwe tukabona ko mudukurikira ubundi natwe bikadutera imbaraga yo gukomeza gukora byinshi byiza ndetse bitandukanye mukomeze mudukurikirane rero nimujye kure ibindi byose nahangaha kuri The Wose TV
ni ubwa mbere waba ugendeye mu bwato
ubu ni ubwa mbere igiti kuva ngeze muri Chicago
ngaba ari ubwa mbere waba uje ukoresheje ubu bwato
the bridge and that counterbalance to
Nubwa
make it all
kangahe?
come down. Now this bridge always stays up. It used to service
icyatumye
the Sun Times
wongera
newspaper.
kubugarukamo ni igiki?
They used to have their offices where Trump Tower is now. That got torn down, and so since they're no longer servicing the newspaper, they don't have to have it in use anymore. For you,
Shanta, bimeze gute?
first is there was a
Ni sawa,
tavern
ndi
where
enjoying,
River Point is,
Muji.
and but what we know that's true about all these stories that they're from about 200
Bimeze
years
sawa,
ago,
urugendo
and
rw'abana.
this would have looked, this whole
biraryoshye.
area would have looked a lot differently back then.
Nubwa
So I want you to
kangahe?
imagine again. I want you to imagine this
Nubwa
space
kabiri.
about 200
Nubwa
years ago.
kabiri.
First of all, you couldn't go through.
Bimeze gute, bro?
You being
C'est
here
bien.
200 years ago, once you have that clearly in your mind,
Gafata
then take
ishonde.
another look around this space, right? What has changed in those 200 years is absolutely amazing.
Tubwire bimeze gute,
For
brother?
example,
Sha, ibintu ni
2017,
sawa kabisa,
150 North Riverside
Eh.
here. That
Nubwa
same train line
kangahe
that goes in
uyu
front of this building
ugiye
goes
muri ubu bwato?
behind this building. So you see how it has sort of a setback on the back,
Ubu
and then there's a
twicayemo, ubu
30-foot
bwato
setback
twicayemo
on the
ni ubwa
front of
mbere
the building. That's
mugiyemo.
mandated by Chicago.
Ariko
They have
nagiye
to
mu
have
mato
30-foot
menshi.
setback. So the base of this building
ubu ngubu-
is this Y-shaped.
ubu ngubu urabugereranya ubugereranije n'ubwo wagendeyemo, bitandukaniye. Ya, ubu bwato ni bunini cyane. Urebye nagiye ngendera mu bintu mu tuntu twinshi tumeze nk'ubwato. Hariho ukuntu wafataga nk'akajerekani ugashyira ku mazi ukakicaraho, ubwo bwari ubwato bwa mbere bworoheje. Ubundi ukagendera mu bwato bw'umuzinga bumwe bw'umuvure, nabwo ni ubundi bwato bwisumbuyeho. Ubundi ukagendera mu bwato bw'abantu babiri, batatu, bane gutyo, ariko ubu urabona ko ari bunini bufite abantu benshi kabisa. Ni ubwato bwiza cyane, ni bunini. Kera tukiri abana bato cyane kwari uguhimba nyine ikintu cyatuma ugenda hejuru y'amazi, ugafata ijerekani ukayicaraho cyangwa ukayiryamaho kubera ko idashobora kumanuka mu mazi. Ubwo bwabaga ari ubwato wihimbiye wowe ubwawe kandi bukagufasha kugenda ku mazi nk'uko tuyicaye hejuru. Noneho twajya gusura ahandi tugasanga bafite ubwato bw'igiti bumwe bw'umuvure, nabwo bafite n'ingasha bari kugasha, ukabona ari ubwato bwisumbuyeho bujya kuba bwiza.
Wigeze ugashyaho se?
Narabikoze ndabizi kabisa.
Hehe.
Muhazi, ikiyaga cya Muhazi.
It's not until the late 50s when we have a reboot in architecture. Take a look at this building right here. It looks a lot different from what we've seen before. Two words probably come to mind: black
Wowe wigeze
box.
ubikora?
And that's the name of this style of architecture. This is black box modern. For example, of a
Tubwire
positive loop, we've got
experience
a bakery
yawe
right next to a
ya
fitness
mbere
center.
uyu
Nice
munsi.
positive loop right there. He's like
Nawe harya
accentuating my
wakoresheje
joke.
bwa bwato bw'amajerekani.
As we pass under the bridge here, over on your left, this building we didn't used to talk about very much.
Ngaho tubwire itandukanirizo rihari ry'ubwato bw'amajerekani n'ubu ngubu
We're
burimo.
looking at here, what is that? Anyone figure out what that is? A map, right? Yeah, it's a map. You can see the Y-shaped point up there. This, that orange little brick you see is this building. It's a "You Are Here" map of this part of Chicago. It's really great for any folks who get lost. They can just jump in the river, swim over, and figure out where they are. Any movie buffs on Chicago as we head down the south branch of the Chicago River here? It's a story told in 3 parts. So the first part I mentioned already. You know, we talked about Chicago starting in 1837. 4,000 people living here. That's how many people you needed to incorporate as a city in 1837. But then in 1871, I want you to remember some of these numbers. 1871, there was a horrible disaster that happened here, which was probably the best thing that ever happened to our city. Anybody know the horrible disaster, the great disaster that happened? The fire, yeah, the Great large Chicago fire started not too far from where we are now, just off to the right. Burns a third of the city, hundreds of thousands of people homeless, millions of dollars in property damage. Now that's all true. Lantern and starts the fire that burns down Chicago. Now think about that for a minute. If you have a small fire start in your garage, or somebody in the neighborhood does, would you expect a third of the city to burn down for 3 days? No, right? What's going on here? This is O'Leary's cow started the fire. Poor immigrant woman's cow. You see the scapegoats in that segment, right? What's really happening is, here's the piece of the puzzle you need. 1871, so the city of Chicago starts 1837. 4,000 people.
Chantal, areka kubabesha mwana.
300,000 people living in Chicago. That's inside of somebody's, lifetime, right? Well, paying attention to how to build this city. So remember all those trees I was talking about?
Uzi kwicara ku kigaro ukagifata gutya ubundi ukagenda mu mazi ukagera ibi.
No zoning codes. You want to build a turpentine factory, right? Which will be engines, a lumberyard. That's fine. Go ahead. We got no problem with that. Right? So that keeps going and going until there's a drought all summer long in 1871, followed by the fall. So we've got all this leaves as kindling laying on the ground. And when this fire starts, the whole city burns. Right? It's poor city planning. Now, if you plan your city poorly, you want to invite a certain type of person to come and rebuild it. And call those out. This is why it's one of the best things ever happened in Chicago is they call for architects who bring plans. And they say, maybe we should have some zones. We'll put the residents away from the flammable materials. Maybe we should leave some space between buildings so they don't burn down like dominoes. Maybe we should try some different building materials. I think wood's a little flammable, right? So what happens within 10 years, by 1880, the population of Chicago explodes. 500,000 people living here. In less than 10 years, 200,000 people moved to Chicago after the fire. And these architects, one of them says, what if we use a steel structure inside of a building? We can build them taller, 10 stories tall. They invent skyscrapers. So the World's Fair is they're going to build on 600 acres of land 200 buildings in 7 months. You see the problem there? To put that in perspective, if you were to take all of Disneyland, the resort, everything, hotels, and then you took the Magic Kingdom from Disney World, you sat them next to each other, they would fit comfortably inside of 600 acres. That's what they're going to build here in 7 months for this World's Fair in 1893. So if you have a problem, who do you turn to? Well, architects, right? They go to Daniel Burnham. He's the best architect in the city, superhero architect. And he comes up with a 3-step plan to build the World's Fair. First part of the plan is all of his architects working with him, they're all going to build in the same style. They're going to cut and paste ideas of beauty from Europe, revival styles, classic styles of architecture. For all 200 buildings, saves a lot of time when you build like that, right? The other thing was no arguments about color palette. No arguments about the color. They're going to paint everything white. All right, so the white city is what they call it in 1893. This classical style of architecture gleaming in this Midwest sun. Kind of breathtaking, you could imagine, right? But remember, this is a solution to a problem. He's got to build a lot of buildings quickly under this deadline. This, however, becomes the style of architecture. Remember we talked about the 1920s, all these revival style buildings? I think about small cities around the Midwest that little town courthouse or town square, that revival style of architecture. They're just copying what was happening in that 1893 World's Fair. The dominant style of architecture or the plaster, right? So half of those buildings burned down by accident. The other half of them are falling apart so bad they knocked them down on purpose. Only one building that survives is the Palace of Fine Arts. They renovated, remodeled it in 1930. Opens up looking just like it did back in 1893, but is reopened as the Museum of Science and Industry. So if you want to see the only building that survived from that World's Fair, you can go visit the Museum of Science and Industry. All right, so that's the second part of the story, how Chicago Chicago becomes a world-class city. But the third part of the story is the mission and vision for Chicago. How we planned for our future in 1909. The 1909 Burnham Plan. Remember Burnham, Daniel Burnham? Same guy. They go to him after the fair and they say, great job on that temporary city, but how about the city we're all going to live in here for, you know, the forthcoming, foreseeable future? They say, you have any plans for that? I've got a couple ideas. Daniel Burnham, he believed in something called the beautiful movement. He believed that if you look at beautiful place, they would become better people. More moral people by building a beautiful place for them to live in. So think about that. Do you believe that? Do you think if you live in beauty, will that inspire you to be a better person? That's what Daniel Burnham believed. But how is he going to do that, right? Well, our motto was already at this time, the motto of Chicago was Urbs in Porto. So what that was city in a garden. That was the motto for Chicago. Daniel Burnham doubles down on that. He built public parks all across Chicago. There's over 600. He structured that, reorganized it, added diagonal streets across it, added boulevards, widening streets, also reset the zero streets so that everything makes sense. You know the address, you can pretty much figure out anywhere in Chicago where to go. A city that makes sense is a beautiful city. But the last part was the vision for the future. He had on that 1909 plan a bunch of things that it would take years for Chicago to get to. He had the museum campus, the lakeshore, Buckingham Fountain, Riverwalk, Navy Pier. All of these things were on that 1909 plan, but it took years for Chicago to get there. But with beauty as a guiding star, we hope that you did. I hope you go back to whatever city you came from and you tell the folks, you gotta go to Chicago. Go check it out, right? Tell them there's a guy named Spiro wants to give you a tour. Send him over, and I'd be glad to take him out. So on behalf of Shoreline Sightseeing, on behalf of the captain, the crew, and myself, I want to welcome you back to what I think is the greatest city in the world, Sweet Home Chicago. Thank you, folks, and enjoy the rest of your day.
zamutumije arabishoboye
bamuhaye inka bamuhaye inka ariko rata uzapfa kubyimena
uze kumubwira ko muhaye inka
abone inka yanga wayimaze iki wayishyira yahitwa n'imbwa neze te wowe wayiguhungu wayimaze iki inka
areba tutakosa nyama.
Ready? Yeah.
ko wagira ngo ubwato mwabuguze mugiye kuryama hari
tuvuye Mubutembere nubwo twatiri mu mazi ndetse no muri ubu bwato tuvuyemo ariko byari byiza cyane kuko utagiye ntajya amenya.
Ibintu byari byiza cyane kureba inyubako zose za Chicago cyane cyane iki gisaza cyadusobanuriye ni ukuri byari byiza kabisa. Uyu musaza arabizi inyubako zose n'amateka yazo yakoze vraiment. Tuzabe tugaruka kenshi, byari byiza cyane.
umuhaye iki?
Muhaye nk'ishushanyije.
nanjye cyanshimishije uyu munsi narebye inyubako, ni ibintu byinshi byiza narebye, inyubako, umujyi, inzu ya tarapu, ni byiza mbese n'abandi nabashishikariza kujya baza kwirebera tu.
uyu munsi nishimye cyane, nabonye ibintu byiza gusa gutembera mu mazi ubwa mbere, noneho ni akarusho kuri njyewe, nabyishimiye kubona izi nyubako zo muri Chicago rwose byari sawa cyane. n'ubutaha abayobozi batekereje iki gikorwa cyo gutembera, n'ubutaha muzadutekerereze tuzagaruke.
uyu munsi nize amateka menshi yo ntarinzi kuri mujyi. nabonye aya manyubako niko nibwo bwa mbere nakora river tour, nagiye muri lake, rero nuke byinshi muri uyu mujyi maze imyaka 6.